I know that stupid fucking When We Were Young festival announced its lineup for next year, which is honestly kind of, I mean, I don't know. I think that's kind of ridiculous. Like, fucking chill out. Literally, I think it's like the week after the last one finished, they pulled this shit up. Which, I mean, I guess good on them. They have their shit booked that far in advance. Oh, my eyes are terrible. I'm old. All right, Panic at the Disco is headlining. It says they're playing A Fever You Can't Sweat Out in its entirety. Everybody, of course, has already said if it's just Brendan Urie, they're going to be pissed. They want Ryan Ross back, which makes sense. Ryan Ross on the backing vocals was like the cherry on top of Panic at the Disco. I remember when they would play live, it was like, dude, I wish he sang more in the recorded version of these songs. Blink-182, I could give a fuck about. I saw Blink-182 years ago on their reunion tour, like when they first got back together. And I've never been huge into them. They have some songs that I do like a lot, but very few. I'm not a huge Blink-182 fan, but I do like some of their songs. Weezer, that's fine. I actually saw Weezer with Blink-182. That too was playing with them on the reunion tour. Avril Lavigne, that's pretty cool. It's crazy that she's like down here. I mean, she's technically. I know Panic at the Disco is bigger, like in this kind of music scene, if that's what you want to call it. Okay, so yes, I guess that makes sense. The Offspring, I don't give a fuck about The Offspring. All Time Low, that's cool. Hopefully they only play their old stuff. The Used, my favorite band of all time. I think The Used should be in the spot that My Chemical Romance is, like in the grand scheme of like the music world. You know, My Chemical Romance is kind of like the kings of that era. I think it should be The Used. I think The Used was the far better band. It kind of sucks to say, but The Used has gone on a little bit too long for their own good. That's maybe where My Chemical Romance has them beat. They never really, they never really got old enough to get really, not as good. I don't want to say The Used got really bad, but, they should think about calling it, at least on the new albums. Knocked Loose, never cared about them. The Gaslight Anthem, never really listened to them. Bad Religion, don't give a fuck. Yellow Card, like one song that I like. Ice Nine Kills, I'm torn on. I really like their first album. Dude, when I went to Warped Tour, like the first year when I was in high school, Ice Nine Kills was a band that was just there selling their CDs for $5. Like, they were following the tour in their own car. They were that small. And they gave us their CD, The Burning. And I remember my friend was just like, okay, yeah, fuck it, $5, and bought it from, literally, it was just like this stranger walked up to us and was like, here's a CD for $5. And, yeah, that's how I discovered Ice Nine Kills. I lost track of them after, for a while, and by the time I found them, they were doing the horror thing that they're doing now, which is cool. It's not my favorite, but it's cool. They have some cool songs. But I really love The Burning by them. That is, in my opinion, their best. I still listen to that album. So I would hope they play some of that. Like The Greatest Story Ever Told, You Scratch My Anchor, Dead is the New Black, dude, fucking classics. Motionless in White, used to like them a lot. Haven't kept up on them lately. It's kind of whatever. The Plot in You, I used to like them a lot too. Also haven't kept up on them. I know they've kind of gotten more into like mainstream rock, sometimes almost pop rock, which is good for them. Kublai Khan, I can never pronounce that. Kublai Khan, don't give a fuck. Simple Plan, used to love them. I was one of the kids that was really into Good Charlotte and Simple Plan. Beartooth, never really gave a fuck. I Prevail, never gave a fuck. Mayday Parade, I fucking love Mayday Parade. I'll always champion Mayday Parade. Dude, perfect breakup band. Mayday Parade is what you need when your girlfriend dumps you. What does that say? Loathe? I don't even know who the fuck that is. Taking Back Sunday. Awesome, except Adam has kind of lost it with his voice, I would say. Adam's whole thing as a singer was always that he was kind of always on the verge of falling apart, but that's what made his voice so cool and unique. It was very dangerous in a sense. It felt like this guy was literally about to, like his vocal cords were about to fall out of his fucking mouth while he was singing. And it was kind of that like train wreck of rock and roll that you really like. Nowadays, he's just kind of not, he's just kind of lost it. So, Asking Alexandria, that's pretty cool. I mean, of course, their first album is like iconic. I straight up cannot read that cursive name. Paris? Is that Paris? If it's Paris, I don't really give a fuck. Man, I can't see for shit. We Came as Romans. Used to like them. A couple songs. Boys Like Girls, that's awesome. It's crazy they're all the way down here, too, because they were big. They were like one of the bigger pop bands back in the day. I mean, they had a song with fucking Taylor Swift. And they're all the way down here. Dude, that's crazy. The Cab, I saw some people were excited for that. That is really cool. I loved The Cab's first album. So that is really cool. The Maine, I fucking love The Maine. Dude, The Maine has been that sleeper band that like is still going and is still really good. Like out of all the bands from that MySpace pop era that they call neon pop nowadays, which is honestly it's the only name, they name these things after the fact, like years after they happened, and neon pop is the one name that I actually really like. It's very fitting for that genre. The Maine, I still love The Maine. Let Live, that's awesome. Let Live was really cool back in the day. Story of the Year, I literally only like Until the Day I Die. Sleeping with Sirens, I liked their first two albums when I was younger, never really kept up on them ever since. Dude, I can't read that. If that says Breathe Carolina, that's awesome. I used to like them a lot. Jack's Mannequin, I have a weird attachment to Jack's Mannequin. Only 3 songs, though. But I dated a girl in high school, and she was cool. She wasn't a nerd, but she was like a 4.0 student that like had never drank or never smoked. Super innocent at the time. Really liked her. We broke up over the dumbest fucking reason, like total teenage misunderstanding type shit. But she liked Jack's Mannequin. She got me into a couple songs by them. So now every time I hear those songs, they make me think of her. It's like Dark Blue. La La Lie. That's my favorite song. That's the one. If you play La La Lie around me, I'll start thinking about this ex-girlfriend. I'll get all bummed out. But it's a great song. Set Your Goals. Never cared about them. What does that say? Crown the Empire? If it does, I don't give a fuck. The Amity Affliction. Never really cared. We the Kings. Of course, I fucking loved their first album. Dude, I cannot read this one right here. Dude. Seriously, these fucking fonts. I can't read it. Whatever. I straight up cannot read it. It looks like it starts with an S. That's... Oh, this is terrible. The story so far. I like the story so far. I fought it for a long time. But whatever. I like the story so far, so that's cool. Destroy Boys, whatever. The Starting Line, that's great. I fucking love The Starting Line. I like their poppiest album, though. What's it called? God damn it. I gotta look this up. I forgot I'm still screen sharing, so now you're seeing what I'm doing. Oh, wait, no. I forgot you're still on the same tab. Right now, I am Googling The Starting Line, though, because I forgot what that album is called that I just claimed to love. Direction. They have a song called Island. That was the single on the album. That's like one of their best songs. But that whole album is really good, so that's awesome that they're playing. Plain White Tees, whatever. Straight Light Run, whatever. The Rocket Summer, that one, I was excited for that. I love The Rocket Summer. So Much Love is a banger. Never Shout Never, a lot of people are excited for that one. That's going to be great. Christopher Drew seems a little off his rocker nowadays. I finally followed him on Instagram, and he posts bizarre. I mean, he posts a lot of pictures of what he's eating, his like vegan diet and shit. But then there was like one post that he just posted. It was a screenshot from his notes app, and it literally just said something about, "I'm sorry that when I was younger, I wore a Lynyrd Skynyrd shirt that had a Confederate flag on it. I'm a patriot, just like all of you." Like, it was just very out of, like, I don't think anyone ever said anything about this. Like, it just kind of seemed like it was really out of nowhere. Dude, go look at Christopher Drew's Instagram and like his Twitter, and he seems a little off his rocker. But he did mention that he's gonna do a reunion thing in 2025, so this must be it. That's gonna be really cool. Yeah, he does a lot of posts too that are like he mentions a lot that he's retired from music and he's so happy that he's retired. Oh, I'm quitting music this year. I'm gonna start doing art, and I'm so I'm not doing it justice. You got to go look at his stuff, and you'll see what I'm talking about. He seems a little out there. Dude, I can't read any more of these. It looks like the red jumpsuit apparatus, also all the way down there too, which is pretty wild. Face Down was a really big single back in the day. The rest of these I can't read. I won't even lie. So we'll call it there. You know, I always want to go to these things. It's always in Vegas. I have a buddy that lives in Vegas. Our other buddy, he was just there with him in Vegas when the last festival was going on just a few days ago. And they tried to get me to go, but I had work. I'm so burnt out with the nostalgia thing, man. It's so tiring. It's so consistent. It's every single time I open my phone, I'm being reminded about how much my life sucks and how happy I used to be and how attractive I used to be and how fun things used to be and how much better the music used to be. It's like, bro, I get it. Like, let me just fucking look around on Instagram without thinking about this shit. It's too much. It's such an obvious cash grab. I mean, I guess everything is a cash grab with the internet. That's the name of the game. But dude, it's just like a fucking hammer to the head. Like, give me a week. Right, give me a week. I am nostalgic enough on my own, right? I'm old now. I get it. I have to go to work. I can't dress the way I want to dress all the time. My hair is not as healthy as it used to be. Girls don't like me as much as they used to. Like, dude, I get it. The music is not as good nowadays. I don't need to be reminded of it so constantly. It really starts taking a toll on me. Dude, honestly, it just bums me out. If I gotta get right down to it, it just makes me sad sometimes. I don't want to see it all the time. And it's everything. Even I follow some pages, right? I follow some of those weird pages that do the what are they called, like liminal spaces, and they'll post like, you know, they post like the picture of Christmas at the mall and it says like the world you grew up in no longer exists and stuff like that. I follow a couple of those, but even if you don't follow any of the pages, like no matter where you go on the internet, you're bombarded with this stuff. I talk about it all the time because I see it all the time. It's too much. You know, once in a while it would be really fun. That's the thing. Once in a while it would be really fun. But this much, yeah, it's just too much. But yeah, I don't know. I always want to be excited for that shit. Like I would like to go. I'll be honest. I would like to go to that fucking When We Were Young thing next year. It'd be nice. I can't imagine people that go to that thing. Like, I can't imagine wanting to be around any of these people. I imagine it's like a combination of, it's probably just all like the worst people you went to high school with that go to those things. Half of them are the kids that were, you know, like the kids that wore like Fox racing gear and like DC shoes and Monster energy drink hats. They were never actually into that stuff, but they're into it now because their girlfriends are, so they go to that thing. And then the other half is probably like, dude, I was never too bad as a Hot Topic kid. In like 8th grade, I went through a really bad phase of being I was like wearing eyeliner and shit. And that was pretty bad. I admit that. I had a bad 7th and 8th grade. But by the time high school came around, I recovered. And I had a pretty good balance of like, you know, I wasn't the full-blown fucking Hot Topic kid. I knew how to kind of fit in with the normal kids at the same time. But then there were the kids with like the just straight up Hot Topic kids with like the Skell Animals plushies on their backpack. Mark Zuckerberg is like, he really exposed how fucking retarded humans are, because Facebook, ever since it was made, was worse than MySpace, like undeniably. So Mark Zuckerberg came along and was like, he took MySpace and was like, I'm going to make this worse, right? He made it worse. He took away a whole bunch of shit that we used to love. And then he handed it back to the society, to people, and said, here, take this. And people said, okay, yeah, cool, I'll take this. Dude, like, when does that ever work? When does somebody take something from you, make it worse, and then give it back to you, and you take it happily? That was bullshit. I was pissed. Everybody should have rebelled against that. Everybody should have said, no, fuck all this Facebook nonsense. MySpace was the way to go. MySpace was like the greatest. And that's not even, I don't even think that's biased. MySpace had everything. It had music, it had pictures, it had picture comments. That's Instagram right there. It had bulletins. That's like blog posts. That's like Tumblr right there. It had like, how are you feeling status things, I think, which is just like your status updates. It had headlines. No, it had headlines. Headlines could be like your status updates. It had public comments, so you could like comment on pretty girls' profiles and let people know that you're talking to this pretty girl. And then it had private messages, so you could send the pretty girl weird shit that you don't want people to see. Dude, it had everything. It had the entire gamut all rolled up into one. But now they broke it apart. You know, now you've got Instagram, and then there's Twitter, and then there's Snapchat, and then there's you know, whatever else. It's stupid. We should have never abandoned MySpace like that. That's the biggest mistake in all of human civilization. Is abandoning MySpace like that, abandoning our good friend Tom.